Hello, good morning. I promise that every Tuesday I will do a live video to talk about my favorite topic, which is social enterprise. And today I really want to talk about, I'm always asked this question about what are the sectors which are best suited to set up a social enterprise. And because of my experience, that one comes top of my mind is social welfare, anything to do with impacting people, be children, any service which is going to help other people and making improving people's lives, improving people's welfare, the general well-being. And this can be in the child care sector, this can be in mental health sector, it could be drug and alcohol misuse sector, rehabilitation, it could be therapeutic interventions, different forms in which it's helping people. I feel that the top on my agenda for me is a sector, and that's the sector I'm interested in, and I've been working for the last more than 20 years now. And it's about what I feel very strongly that can be really make a huge, anything which makes a difference to other people comes under this arena, this what I call the social welfare sector. And I think it's a very good sector to set up a social enterprise in. And it also, it always feels as if you're doing something to contribute to the well-being, for me, about people who are less privileged than I am. The next sector, which I feel is very conducive to setting up to being a social enterprise, is environment. That is really such a big sector, and it varies from recycling mobile phones, recycling furniture, to picking plastics off the oceans, and that is having a direct impact on human beings as well as the planet in which we live. The environmental sector is another, I said, for me, it's the second biggest sector in which you can set up a social enterprise. And again, you're making a difference to people, and you're making a difference to the environment. And if you look at all the common cause between the two of them, is that impact to people. And some people don't, it doesn't normally come naturally for them to think of it, about the impact it's having on people. But people live in the environment. So it's really, really core. We're really nothing without protecting our environment. So it's another sector which I think is very, very conducive to setting up a social enterprise. And as I said, I've worked with a lot of other social enterprise, and the environment is one of the top sector which comes to my mind in terms of people I've worked with. They're doing something within the environment sector to try and make a difference. They feel very strongly about wanting to contribute to saving the planet. And it might not seem as if it's a big thing at the time, but it is very much making a difference. And I always say that sometimes you feel that, my contribution is just a drop in the ocean, but a few drops in the oceans make the ocean. So I would urge you to think about your contribution making a difference to choosing the environmental sector. As I said, a lot of people are always asking me, what are the top sectors? As I said, this is my second for me, is the environment. The third one, which I feel is another huge sector, which social enterprise is lot of another very big sector for around social enterprise, is economic development. And this is about empowering people to develop themselves economically and moving away from the charity model and moving into developing people that they can stand on their own self through enterprise. And there's a lot of examples, both for me, in Europe and in Africa, in terms of things like the microfinance boom, helping women in particular become financially independent, and developing them to whatever their small enterprise they're doing, so that they can understand how business work, how they can it can be much more sustainable rather than relying on donations and aid. And there's so many examples I could give around economic development and economic empowerment of people, of community, and this is a very there's a lot of projects in Europe, which are in England, which are looking at developing people in terms of the economic development. So as a summary, I mean, these are only three. There's a lot of other sectors out there, but the ones which are, as I said, for me, which are top, again, is social welfare, and this is all about social health, well-being of people. There's so many examples of that. And the next one is the environment. Anything which is doing recycling, saving the environment, it's a very good sector for you to think about when you're setting up, if that's what you feel passionately about. And the last one I talked about is the economic development, and how this have a huge impact on people's lives. And the common denominator in all this is, for me, is that it has a huge impact on the people. It might not seem that obvious, especially the environment, that this is having, but it is core to the whole. That's why we want to save the planet. Well, that's why we're recycling, is because we want to have it make a difference to people's lives. Until next week, thank you very much. Meanwhile, if you can think of and make comments at the bottom about the sector you are in, I would like to know, and whether it fits any of the ones I've mentioned. And if you want to ask a question, please, if you can reach out to me. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.